this is a hot take or not, but Squad is genuinely one of my favorite Cars diecasts released in 2023. I think she's one of the best looking, most accurate Cars on the Road diecasts out there, which is saying a lot, I think, since nearly every on the road item we've gotten, with a few exceptions, have been incredibly well made and screen accurate. Everything about Squad, from her mold and her design to her facial expression, feel like they were pulled right out of the Road Rumblers episode. And despite just how great of an item she is, I feel like I don't really hear people talking about her much. I think she kind of went under the radar. She was a late in the year release. I'm pretty sure she was released in the same wave the Lemons came back in, which honestly doomed any new release. You were gonna be overshadowed by the fact that the Lemons were back at the same time as you. I feel like people just really didn't talk about her all that much, and I was really disappointed that I couldn't find her last year. I know a lot of people found her wave at Target, but unfortunately my Targets hadn't caught up at that time, and they're still struggling to catch up now, unfortunately. Still finding a lot of 2023 or late 2022, or I guess the last wave of 2022, situations at my Targets nearby me. Hopefully they'll catch up soon. But yeah, while I know a lot of people got their hands on Squad, I wasn't able to. I had a feeling she'd be super expensive online, but I looked her up and she only goes for like $10, or at least she did about a month ago when I looked her up and then asked for her for my birthday because I realized she was so cheap. And my parents picked her up for me, and now I'm super glad to have her in my collection. Not only one of my favorite 2023 items, but one of the last 2023 new releases that I needed. The last one now being Randy, who was re-released in 2024, so I'm not that concerned about finding him. I've been looking for him. I haven't seen him just yet. Who knows? There's still time. Anyway, guys, welcome back to another review. Today we're going to be taking a look at Squad, of course, from the Road Rumblers episode of Cars on the Road. I guess this is going to be one of the last times I ever review a card on this card back style. Yeah. Which is honestly crazy to think about. We've reviewed nearly every on the road item out there here on the channel. And yeah, this is probably the last time you'll see it. If I end up picking up 2024 Randy, I may never see this packaging style on camera again, you know? You may never see it in another review. So let's take an extra moment to sort of revel in this packaging style. It was a pretty nice one, wasn't it? Do you guys prefer this to the current red style? I don't really know. Part of me likes this better, but part of me likes it a little worse. I'm not really sure, and quite frankly, nothing about this really screams on the road to me. It's very Cars-y, but not very on the road-y, since they don't spend that much time in the show in the desert. Maybe a bit of a grassy highway would work better. I feel like a lot of the time where you just see McQueen and Mater driving along, they're on a sort of grassy field with a highway next to it, right? You can see Squad is new for 2023. She's in a little TV bubble, the old-timey TV. Moving on to the back, you can see some other releases from on the road. At this point, I've taken a look at all of these, except Randy. We've got not Cryptid Buster Mater, Road Rumbler Mater, Mateo, West Philanthropist, Mallory Carhut, Griswold, and again, Randy there with that nice map background. I always really loved this background map design, especially how it covers itself with different Cars locations. We have, of course, Willie's Butte there, some generic desert, the volcano representing the Dino Park, and this little cone with a flag in it, which I always assumed represented the circus, although I might be wrong on that. Anyway, let's crack Squad out of the package here. You know, this year we got a lot of obscure on-the-road characters. Last year, I think Squad's probably one of the most obscure ones we got, with the exception of some of the dinosaur cars, and some of the Salt Flats cars. She may be the most obscure character, which is saying something, because she is one of the most prominently featured Road Rumblers, and yeah, I absolutely love how this item looks. I was a bit critical of Jeremy. While I thought he was a good item, I thought he was a bit too large, too raised up, had kind of an off expression. Squad here is absolutely perfect to me. Maybe she's a bit too cream colored and should have been a bit more off-white, but I still think she works just fine. This facial expression looks perfect to me. Looks just like how she looks when she's like in front of McQueen and Mater in that one shot. I'm going to put that on the screen so that you guys know what shot I'm talking about. I think it matches her perfectly there. you can see that all the spikes here are very soft rubber. I heard some people complain about just how soft the rubber is, and I get why you could have a problem with that, but of course that is a safety thing. You don't want to put actual death spikes on the children's toy, unless you're Jeremy, whose spikes are much pointier and maybe a little bit more sturdy, and not really a bit more sturdy. But still, I think Squat looks perfectly fine. Even if you just kind of like mold her around, try to give her a different hairdo, it's not going to stay in that position, and it's also not going to break off. I think this is perfectly fine. Can she stand on her head? No, because they're too soft. Okay, yeah, maybe you could have gone a little harder on these, but I think it's perfectly fine. I absolutely love the nose ring here. This is such a funny, great detail. It's not even like stuck into a grill like other cars have had over the years, like Miss Fritter has that chain running through her grill. No, it's just on Squat's hood, where the nose of a car would equivalently be. We've got all these scrapes here. It looks like her headlights have been blacked out, painted over maybe, although it looks like in the show they were functioning headlights, so that's an interesting little change or inconsistency there. Got a nice growling mouth expression. Moving on over to the side, you can see her wheels are full of little spikes. Let's just double check that. Yep. Looking pretty accurate to me. It's even split up into those 3 different pieces, just like you saw on the artwork there, and the back wheels are still just regular wheels. Funny to see how some of these Apocalypse cars still have some pretty normal looking things on them. We've got some unique rust spray painting designs. I assume it's supposed to be rust, but it does kind of look like spray paint. If you know me, you know I always praise how well Made in Thailand's cars' rust detailing looks. This is another case where they hit it out of the park like they always do. Look at Jeremy's roof. That is such good corrosion detailing, and Squat is certainly no different. More spikes popping out of the back here, and it looks like her license plate has been maybe purposely scraped up, which is really, really funny. Yeah, you could just barely make out like an 8, something else, and a 1 or an I, and then another line there. I think that's so funny to have her have scraped out her license plate, because she's off the grid. She doesn't need any form of identification, and it looks like the backlights have been blacked out too. I kind of prefer the concept of the lights being blacked out. I think that's kind of funny. You know, these Road Rumbler cars are embracing lesser technology, and I think that's pretty funny. Here's a look at the other side, which is completely different. You could also see Squat's built to maybe lunge forward a little bit, maybe put her in a bit of a pose like Jeremy was as well, or maybe that's just a car model. And finally, there is a look at the base. Another great on-the-road item. Absolutely adore this one, and she's really going to stand out alongside some of the other Road Rumbler cars we've been receiving, or that we will receive in 2024. Really nice to be able to build up your Road Rumbler army, not just with cars that look similar like Justin Roadkey and Jason Roadritter, but also with cars that stand out and color scheme a bit more like Squat, Jeremy, and the Chiefess. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Bye now.